and the pending and hard and
Welcome to the Living Life Well show, the intersection of God's Word, today's science, and healthy living with common sense application, all based on the truth of the Word of God. I'm your host, Dr. Jon Skelton. Now let's get straight to the truth. All right, welcome back to the Living Life Well show. Today, what I'm wanting to talk about is overcoming plateaus in your health. Well, before we get into that, I just want to remind you that we're having a headache workshop on July 24th at Live Life Well Clinic here in Lubbock. And so, if that is something that you're interested in, you can email us at admin@livelifewellclinic.com, or if you will look in the show notes, we'll have a link for you to be able to sign up to save your spot. So spots are filling up quickly. And so, headaches, especially when they're chronic, can be one of those things that really limit our activities, limit what we are doing, which then causes us to reach a plateau, right? And so plateaus happen for a lot of reasons. Plateaus can happen really in any area of life, whether it's your job, could happen in your marriage, could happen in your health, of course, happen in your finances. And so plateaus happen in every area of life. So let's first of all just define what a plateau is. Well, of course, plateau really comes from what we know a lot about here in Lubbock, because basically what it really referred to initially was a landmass that's relatively flat and elevated. So anybody that's come to Lubbock and driven in on Highway 84 coming from the south, you've realized this. You know when you're at a plateau, because when you start out in post at the bottom of the hill, that's what you see, this long, steady incline. And you get up a couple hundred feet relatively quickly. But when we're talking about our health, we use the more figurative description in Webster's, which says a plateau can represent a period of little or no change or progress. They give the example that this is often seen in learning curves, where someone stops improving after a certain point. It can also apply to a career where someone reaches a stage with no further advancement. When you're talking about your health, that's what happens, right? We have a lot of energy going at first. We really climb up, and then all of a sudden things seem to level off and just become flat. And we maybe not necessarily haven't changed anything. We've been doing the same, but now we've just leveled off. Now, listen, all plateaus aren't bad, right? And so when you reach those goals, and you get to that goal and in your health and you want to level off, that's okay. But what happens for most of us now, we made some goals at the beginning of the year. And in January, we started out with several different goals. And if you're interested in how to set goals, now is a good time to do a reset as we're halfway through the year and kind of take stock and see where you're at. So you can go back and listen to my other podcasts on goals, and especially how Nehemiah really went through those goals and really overcame some drastic situations. But by and large, midway through the year, we've taken our eye off the prize a little bit. Or we haven't taken our eye off the prize, but we've gotten to this plateau. So, what do we do if we've gotten to a plateau or even maybe a downward trajectory? Well, number one is you need to go back to your goals. Go back to your goals and reassess. How much progress have I made towards my year long goal? We're halfway through the year now, a little over that now. So, are you halfway there? Are you like me and in a lot of your goals, maybe 25 to, one third of the way there? Or have you just completely forgotten about that goal and maybe you need to reassess? Is that even a goal you really need to have right now? Has life happened in the last 6 months and you've had some major turns? So, if you've had any of that, if any of that has occurred to you, so basically everybody listening to this podcast, you need to go and reassess where you are in your goals. So, number one, you need to go back and see, are your goals still realistic? Your goal, that year-long goal that you set out with in January, is that still to be achieved by the end of this year? If it's not, reevaluate that. Redefine what the goal is. Rework your plan. Because maybe the real goal was just not realistic. Maybe you've been doing everything that you intended to do, that you wrote out, that you gave detail on, but it's just not happening. So maybe that goal needs to be redefined. So that's number one, how to overcome plateaus. Number two is really take inventory. How consistent have you really been? How much effort have you really put in? And if you put in maximal effort and have been consistent, then yeah, you probably need to redefine that goal, because now it's not realistic. It's not realistic based on a couple different things. Either what it is that you're doing, the knowledge that you have to be able to get the goal, or you just really need to redefine why you're even going at that goal in the first place. And so really, it starts with this reassessing and taking inventory. This goes back to a couple of podcasts where I talk about recognition and the importance of that. And if we don't ever take time to reassess where we are towards a goal, we're never going to reach it, right? It is very unusual that you're going to end up reaching a significant goal without reassessing and tracking your progress. So if you haven't been tracking progress thus far, that's where you need to start. So if you've only been hitting, maybe now you're looking back, you're halfway through the year and you're only 25% to that goal, really go back and look, have you been consistent? Have you been tracking your progress? Do you know when that 25% occurred? Did that 25% toward that goal occur in the first 3 months? Did it occur in the first month and you've just plateaued? Or is it simply because you haven't been consistent? So consistency is what gets you to a plateau, and it will also keep you on that plateau if you let it. Meaning, if you're consistently inconsistent with what it is that you're doing, you're not going to gain ground. You might lose ground, but you're definitely not going to gain ground. And so you need to look at your consistency and make sure that that's where it needs to be. If you have too many things on your plate that doesn't allow you to be consistent, again, going back and reevaluating what those things are that you can do, those things that are achievable, the things that are realistic on a daily basis or weekly basis, whatever the case may be for your goal. So those are a couple things that you can do. Now, for some individuals, they reach a plateau and they are very consistent. They're doing everything. They're tracking the progress, but they're not getting up there. They're not having that quick incline up to the plateau, or maybe they did and now they plateaued and they've been sitting there for the last 3 months and they haven't made any progress over the last 3 months despite still putting in that effort. Well, what does that mean? That means you need to change the routine. So, how do we change the routine? Well, we've got to do things differently, right? So, consistency is great and consistency and effort is great, but sometimes our efforts are put in the wrong area. And so, we need to put our efforts in the right area. And so, if you've been tracking this, you may be able to tell through your workouts, through your diet, through your sleep, what really moves the needle the most for you. Because in a week's time, you may really make some gains towards your goals. And most of the time, people are thinking about weight loss or just eating right, things like that. And so you need to go back and look at what behaviors really seem to help set the table for you to be able to accomplish that. But then a lot of times, you need new information. You need new information and a new routine to either tweak how you're going along or really jumpstart you to getting back up there and moving forward. So new information can come from lots of different sources. It can come from friends, it can come from families, it can come from professionals, just really depends. It can come obviously in your own research as well. But new information is what is going to be important. And so when you are looking at a plateau in any area of your life, you want to really track where you are. You want to assess your consistency and you want to get new information because when we do all that we can do and we're consistent with it, that's the key is the new information. There's something that we're missing, right? Somewhere we need to do something different than what we're doing because we're not getting to where we want to go. And then once you do reach that goal, you don't let up. You stay consistent because when we reach that goal, we want to get to that ultimate plateau, right? That plateau that's up here, not the plateau that's down here. We want to get to that ultimate goal and we want to be able to maintain it. And so, again, reassessing what those goals are they realistic? Are they achievable? Do we have the right information? All those things are going to be very important towards getting you towards your goal. And then instituting the help of professionals. And again, that's what I do. I help people when they get to these plateaus. We help get over these plateaus because to get over a plateau, you need a comprehensive evaluation. You need an evaluation that looks at all aspects of your health, not just your physical health, because sometimes you can be doing everything right physically, but you've got a brain drain that's really causing you to not get the most out of what you're doing, even some sort of chronic infection. You're putting in all the effort, but you're not getting those results. And so, really taking that comprehensive approach is going to be important. So, if that's you and you've reached a plateau, you've done all that you know how to do, and you've been consistent, then you definitely need the help of a professional. And so if that's you, if you would like help with that, we would love to do that for you here at the Live Life Well Clinic. You can jump on and schedule a free discovery call there. That's what I do. That's where we'll find out more about you, about what's going on, about what you've done, and see if we can help you get past that plateau and get to the mountaintop, if you will. And so that's what we're all about. If you want more information, you can go to livelifewellclinic.com/book and book your free discovery call there. Also, if you are interested and you're in Lubbock and you are someone who suffers with headaches of any type, if you are the spouse of someone or the parent of someone who suffers with headaches of any type chronically, I would encourage you to come to our Free from Headaches talk on July 24th at 6 p.m. Again, you can just click the link in the show notes to sign up there. So thanks and God bless. That's it for this episode of the Living Life Well show. If you like what you've heard and want to learn more or want to know how to put this into practice for yourself, go to livelifewellclinic.com. Until next time, this is Dr. Jon Skelton saying go out and live the truth so you can live life well. The preceding is for entertainment and educational purposes only. It is not meant to be used to prevent, diagnose, treat, or cure any condition. The information contained in this show does not substitute the need for a qualified medical professional, nor is it meant to provide medical advice or services. If you feel information presented in this show may apply to you, we recommend you seek out the help of a qualified medical professional who can evaluate and treat your specific concerns.